In California's country of golden sun and fun, life is a celebration. Beauty abounds in the scenery and in the people, and a mystique of excitement hums in this lush land. Into this setting, Los Angeles Rams owner Carroll Rosenblum brought yet another vibrant element when he took over and started a Rams renaissance, turning an also-ran into an NFL powerhouse. In 1974, the Rams won their second straight division title, finished 10-4, a mark that swept them eventually to the championship game of the National Football Conference. In Minnesota, game day dawned cold and bright, a day when fate shimmered in the air. Throughout the afternoon, the Rams were besieged by strange penalties, fumbles, and mishaps, and their big plays led to frustration. In the final analysis, the team's Super Bowl hopes lay a tantalizing few inches away. Inches that fate would turn into the long miles home. But this loss could not deny the Rams' great season and a hallmark victory in the playoffs. A victory that in 1974 moved the Los Angeles Rams' ultimate goal of a world championship one step closer. The Rams opened the season in beautiful Rocky Mountain country, where Los Angeles scout Jack Faulkner's report helped guide them to victory over the Broncos. John Hadel to Bob Klein put the Rams on the board, and special team star Cullen Bryant flashed 84 yards to seal a 17-10 win. When the Saints came marching into the Coliseum, they were marched over in force by a Ram defense which held them scoreless. Meanwhile, the offense rolled up 24 points for win number 2. In the season's third week, Coach Chuck Knox, General Manager Don Klosterman, and owner Carroll Rosenblum journeyed to New England for the Battle of the Unbeatens. But disappointment was the order of the day as the Rams offense misfired and missed by inches. The vastly improved Patriots went on to hand the Rams their first defeat of the year by a 20-14 score. The next week found the Lions in the Coliseum, and they ran into a kung fu fighter as well as a black belt defense. Number 74, Merlin Olsen, led a crushing attack on the Detroit offense. However, the Los Angeles offense was not as strong as it might have been, even though number 45, Jim Bertelsen, carved out some nice chunks of yardage. Even Lawrence McCutcheon, on his way to a club record 1,109-yard season, could not inspire an offensive explosion. Bob Klein's score helped finish a narrow 16-13 victory. In rainy, gloomy Milwaukee, the offense continued to sputter, and the Rams lost to Green Bay 17-6. With their record at 3-2, the playoff picture was dimming. It was time for Chuck Knox to reassess the team's strengths and weaknesses, its goals and their probabilities. It was a time of unsettling self-doubt and a time to put the playoff express on the right track before it was too late. As part of the reassessment program, James Harris became the starting quarterback, and in a shrewd, gutty trade, Carroll Rosenblum dealt John Hadel to Green Bay for 5 high draft choices. The reason? James Harris had shown ability, leadership, and against Green Bay, poise. The Rams staff had utmost confidence in him. The 49ers found this confidence was not misplaced as Harris picked them apart, hitting 12 of 15 for 276 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a sensational start on his way to becoming the NFC's second leading passer. Harris finished his tour de force on the run as the Rams defeated the 49ers 37-14. Across the country again in Windy Shea Stadium, the Los Angeles defense roared in to blow the Jets down. The New Yorkers learned firsthand why the Rams would lead the NFL in rushing defense in 1974. On offense, the Rams didn't match their explosiveness of the week before, but Lawrence McCutcheon came up with one of the most spectacular touchdown runs of the season. Oh, my. Quarterback James Harris proved a double threat with some fancy footwork to go with his howitzer arm, and the Rams racked up victory number 5, 20-13. In San Francisco for a Monday night game before a nationwide TV audience, the Rams broke in waves over the 49er quarterback and drew a bead on his number. Power runner Tony Baker blasted in for 1 score as Los Angeles vaulted into an early lead. Then the defense came up with a big play. Number 90, Larry Brooks, forced a fumble. And number 36, Ken Geddes, recovered. Harrison Klein then went to work to make the Los Angeles lead comfortable. But late in the game, the 49ers rallied. With time running out, they were on the move, and they trailed by only 2 at 15-13. Now, in the waning seconds, the defense needed another big play. With Merlin Olsen putting on the pressure, Norm Snead unloaded into the waiting arms of linebacker Isaiah Robertson, and the Rams spot atop the NFC West went unchallenged. After 2 weeks on the road, home was a welcome sight, and the Rams celebrated by sending Heisman Trophy winner John Cappelletti on a tear against the Falcons. The defense celebrated by registering its second shutout of the year, as it offered no escape, either on the ground or in the air. James Harris, improving week by week, led the offense to 21 points, including 2 scoring shots to number 29, Harold Jackson. The impressive victory made the Rams' record 7-2. There was no denying the Rams Express seemed playoff-oriented. In Week 10, the Rams suffered a loss in New Orleans. And when they came home, some people now wondered if they could match strengths with the Super Bowl-bound Vikings. Before the largest crowd to see an NFL game in 15 years, James Harris drove the Rams for their first score, and they trailed 13-6. The Vikings retaliated and led 17-6 in the last quarter. Late in the game, the defense got the ball twice for Harris. The first time, the Rams scored after a great drive, and when the defense held again, the Rams were on the march. 10 times in a row, Harris connected on crucial passes. With but a minute left, the Rams were faced with the biggest play of their season, a play that Coach Knox and the men involved in it tailored on the sideline for this special situation. It was do or die. Jack Snow's score gave the Rams more than win number 9 because in addition to proving they could perform under pressure, their victory clinched first place in the NFC West. In Atlanta in Week 12, the Rams breezed as Harris again connected with Jack Snow for a long 6. However, the key to victory was turned by the defense as it came up with 5 second-half interceptions, like this one by number 42, Dave Elmendorf, which put the Falcons away 30-7. In a Monday night game, the Redskins needed to win to make the playoffs themselves. Washington's Billy Kilmer riddled the Rams with short passes to put the Redskins on top. Quarterback Ron Jaworski came in for the injured Harris and performed admirably, leading the Rams in a last-period rally. Unfortunately, the rally fell short, and the Rams were beaten 23-17 by a team they would meet 2 weeks later in the playoffs. In the last game of the regular season, the Buffalo Bills were in town, and so was the amazing Ashley Whippet, receiver extraordinaire. Harris threw his own brand of frisbee to Tony Baker. A touchdown to number 33, Rob Scribner, wrapped up the schedule with a victory and a 10-4 overall record, to which all had contributed, but none more than the men of the offensive line. For there is none more experienced in all of pro football. Tackle Charlie Cowan is a 14-year veteran. Guard Tom Mack has 9 years of service. Center Ken Iman has also logged 14 years. Guard Joe Schiavelli is the third 14-year man. And tackle John Williams is a veteran of 7 years. These 5 men, Coach Ray Prohaska's unsung heroes, were never better as a group than they were in 1974. And whether it was straight ahead, on the sweep, or in the pocket, these men were greatly responsible for the Rams' finish among the top 3 in the conference in total offense. While power and force cleared the way was traveled best by Lawrence McCutcheon, number 30, who was the only runner in the NFC to rush for over 1,000 yards, and the only Ram in history with back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. As offensive back coach Elijah Pitts points out, much of McCutcheon's success is due to the fine blocking of number 45, Jim Bertelsen, who is himself a super tough runner and receiver. In 1974, receiver Harold Jackson was, as usual, a streak headed for the end zone. A threat from any range, Harold came on strong as the season progressed. Receiver coach Lehman Bennett was glad to see Lance Rensel, number 19, back in the lineup and alternating with starter Jack Snow. Rensel still has the good hands and a knack for getting free. Number 84, Jack Snow, continued his climb toward the top of the Rams record books in almost every category for receivers. Rugged tight end Bob Klein, number 80, had his best season as a receiver. And so Los Angeles offensive coordinator Ken Meyer and aide Ed Alsman felt that with these consistently solid performances, their unit was ready for the conference playoff battle with the Washington Redskins. In 1974, the Rams' special teams were always hard-hitting. Each man contributed his share to the playoff picture. Men like Willie McGee, Tim Stokes, Bill Curry, Rich Saul, Pat Curran, Terry Nelson, Les Josephson, Phil Olsen, Cody Jones, Bill Nelson, Jim Peterson, Bob Stein, Jim Youngblood, Tony Plummer, Mike Burke, Bill Drake, Rick Kay, and reserve quarterback Don Milan all deserve credit in the Los Angeles success story. The 1974 Rams front four was manned by number 89, Fred Dreyer, number 90, Larry Brooks, Merlin Olsen, number 74, and number 85, Jack Youngblood, who was on everybody's all-pro list. For this quartet, under defensive coordinator Ray Malavasi, the main strength and feeling was that of unit play rather than individual glories. Sacks and crunching tackles were considered group accomplishments, as each man filled a particular role in stopping the opponent's offense. Outside linebackers Isaiah Robertson, number 58, and Ken Geddes, number 36, kept Coach Tom Catlin smiling as they pursued and punished with gleeful abandon. Number 64, Jack Hacksaw Reynolds had his finest season as he consistently tore down plays from his middle linebacker slot. In the secondary, number 41, Eddie McMillan, and number 20, Steve Priest, held things in check. Later in the year, defensive back coach Jim Wagstaff saw number 44, Al Clark, and first-year man Bill Simpson, number 48, break into the lineup. The experience of number 47, Charlie Stukes, was invaluable as he had 5 of his 7 interceptions in the last 5 games. Safety Dave Elmendorf, number 42, had his finest year, returned 2 of his 7 thefts for touchdowns of over 50 yards. So with both the offensive and defensive units at their peak, it was now showdown time with the Washington Redskins. For Los Angeles, the contest had deep meaning because the Rams had not won a postseason game since their World Championship year of 1951. This game would determine what progress the new Rams organization was making toward the ultimate, a World Championship for Los Angeles. From the very outset, the game proved to be one of physical and brutal strength against strength. Both teams got in their licks. Both sides exacted a toll for anything they gave up. Relentlessly, James Harris drove the Rams on the Redskin goal. His pass to Bob Klein put the first points on the board. And after a Redskin score, the battle got down to basics. Crunching and clawing, the Rams defense began to win the battle of the trenches. Merlin Olsen's heroic charges caused 2 fumbles, and both times the alert Rams recovered. David Ray fired home 2 clutch field goals, and the Los Angeles lead held at 13-10 as time became a factor. Now the Redskins were forced to Sonny Jurgensen and to the air. But this time, unlike the Monday night loss, the Rams' pass defense was impenetrable as Bill Simpson intercepted in the end zone. Jack Reynolds put the stopper on another drive with his interception, and the Rams could sense the kill. Then it came. Under a withering rush, Jurgensen's arm was hit in mid-pass by Merlin Olsen, and Isaiah Robertson picked off the misdirected missile. Isaiah's amazing touchdown run sealed the Rams' greatest victory of 1974, final 19-10. For Coach Chuck Knox, his staff and players, it was a moment of unsullied joy. But more, it was a moment of accomplishment. For by this victory, the final goal of a world championship for the football fans of Los Angeles is now one step closer.